Ja, vielen Dank. Wir freuen uns jetzt sehr, dass seine Exzellenz Syed Hasan Javed zu uns sprechen wird. Botschafter Javed ist seit 1979 im diplomatischen Dienst der Islamischen Republik Pakistan und hielt Positionen in Simbabwe, in Tadschikistan, in Belgien, in Mauritius, in Singapur und vor allen Dingen insgesamt über 10 Jahre in China. Er forscht und schreibt seit langem über die chinesische Kultur und Sprache. Ich war jüngst erst zugegen, als der Herr Botschafter sein neues Buch vorgestellt hat über China, über Chinas Sprache. Der Vortrag wird übrigens in englischer Sprache stattfinden. Wir haben Ihnen aber am Eingang ein Blatt mitgegeben, wo auch der Vortrag in der deutschen Übersetzung draufsteht. Wir freuen uns sehr auf Ihre Worte, Herr Botschafter. Bitte schön.
Guten Tag. Good day. The President and the Board of Directors of the Schiller Institute, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate and thank Schiller Institute to initiate such a scholarly debate on even more profound theme. In this, of course, the subject is such interesting and such a profound that once I read the note that was sent to the embassy, the rebel in me came back in its reality, and I thought that I must go to attend to see the rebels who hold alternate paradigm from the mainstream paradigm that is now in the world. Of course, my job, which I'm approaching now, retirement, makes me even more daring to attempt such topics. Buddha had said, take out fear from yourself, and then you achieve your salvation. In my own religious belief, Muslims are told that all human beings belong to one family. And if any one of the family suffers, actually the whole humanity suffers. And God created us into nations and societies, not because we should abhor each other, hate each other, but in order to recognize ourselves, in order to be able to contribute, to live as God's best creation, of what we call Ashraful Makhlukat. The subject is very profound. In fact, in the mainstream language, it could be called an unguided missile. But I would limit myself to very basics. And certainly, a lot can be said on this subject, but I will limit. Pakistan has been since ancient times, even before the birth of Christ, a bridge between Europe and China. The problem is the mainstream thinking doesn't mention Pakistan. It mentions the realities which were before 1947. There starts the problem. So, more than 1,500 years ago, before America itself was discovered by the Europeans and colonized, the Chinese Ming Dynasty Muslim admiral Chiang Kai took huge ships loaded with silk and other merchandise around the world from 1420 to 1426 AD to the Caribbean islands and the American continent landmass. Thus, the Americans, the indigenous natives, were connected to China by the maritime Silk Route. The Chinese did neither colonize nor laid a claim to the Americas, even though they reached there before the Europeans. The Gandhara kingdom under the Kushan Empire in Pakistan, the place near Taxila, and the Gandhara kingdom under the Kushan Empire were the Europeans, who were the soldiers and commanders of Macedonian general Alexander the Great, who settled there, married local women, and converted to Buddhism. They connected China to Rome via Gandhara and Persia. Merchandise goods exported from Gandhara to Europe included copper and brass artifacts. The realization that all is not with the current global trends may become the first step in a 1,000-kilometer journey towards resolution on some of the very pressing issues that the humanity faces and that you heard in the presentation by Madam Helga. But there is no guarantee that there will be success, and there is no guarantee that there will be no future shocks or reverses. In fact, the situation may get worse before getting better. There are essential problems of disconnect and gaps. The three disasters that have happened in the world are the media, the PowerPoint, and the Bretton Woods institutions. That's my own personal view. Unless the media, the PowerPoint, and the Bretton Woods institutions go through serious reforms, you will have no change. But there are no answers, and you don't see the reforms. If you ask me, as a scholar, I feel the world is in irreversible decline. Irreversible, I mean, is the way. I have gone to 75 countries in the world. I have attended best institutions, almost all continents. I can tell you the problem is much deeper. The problem is defective thought process that we all have. The problem goes much deeper than what is being debated in dialogues or debates, or in universities or in think tanks. There is essential moral bankruptcy, if I can quote correctly. Intellectually, there is intellectual stagnation. The world is now in uncharted direction, what you call as no land territory, or maybe no land better. So the existing institutions, whatever you have, in my own humble studies and assessment and research, are not capable to cope with these problems. And that includes all the global institutions and financial institutions you have in place at this moment, right in this world that we all live in. We have destroyed environment. What was there in this environment, in this world, for the last 10,000 years, we have taken very little time to destroy it. The humanity is in a shock, but that's, there are no solutions around. Of course, there is a need for a paradigm, an alternate paradigm. There is everywhere, there is an interest in the paradigm, but the paradigm is itself very elusive. I'm happy the Schiller Institute is taking this now. Well, Germany has always been very, very blessed in having philosophers, and quite a lot of them of all shades and opinion and colors. Well, Germany, maybe destiny has for Germany to play a role, not just a part of, what you call as a clog in the wheel, but actually an independent role to take the world and build a better future for the world, not as a camp follower. I mean, but as I would say, because you have benefited the most from the end of Cold War, you are in a unique position. You having seen what miseries, what destruction, what violence, what hate can do to humankind or mankind or womankind, you are in a best position to understand the pain and the miseries and the tragedies that is happening in the world today. No people can better understand it than the Germans. And you have scholars and philosophers of all shades. So I really feel very, very happy to be in a place talking on an alternate paradigm that Schiller Institute wants to promote, what it calls as Silk Road paradigm. There is definitely, I think, the need for a silken touch to a tormented humanity. That silky touch is needed. And I hope the Schiller Institute will also have a lot of silk and silky touch to people. Because so far, the humanity always only had coalition buildings, Cold War, shock therapies, hitmen, economic hitmen, financial hitmen, all kinds of environmental hitmen. But what we did not have was a silk therapy. I hope Schiller Institute can tell us of the silk therapy that it intends to do for the world and humanity. It's a very, very gigantic task that you have undertaken. But all big tasks are undertaken from the most humble and from the most unlikely sources. So maybe a few years down the line, who knows, Schiller Institute's initiative could become a reality. Well, I think it is a 1,000-kilometer journey yet, and of course, the theme that you have promises to have a 21st century, to have a world of balance and harmony. Well, that's an alternate paradigm that you are aiming for. The world has had, as you heard in the presentation, a world has been based on the paradigm of geopolitics and profit maximization. The systems are coming down. There is no doubt about it. The systems are not really in good shape. Whatever we put, or the humanity put their best minds after the end of Second World War, all the systems are showing very severe strains. Some of the systems just refuse to budge to reform themselves. There is no capacity to reform. There is always the capacity of geopolitical and geoeconomic dominance. And where there will be dominance, there will be no peace. So the issues are very, very profound, very, very, very deep, and to expect the existing institutions to reform themselves, I'm not very optimistic there. We will have to make a new paradigm, a new start, a new charter for the world for next 100 years, for instance. We had last years, I mean, okay, but we cannot solve the new problems with the existing institutions, existing what you call knowledge that existing procedures, existing methods. So I think I can attend to some of these questions, maybe if you have in the Q&A. I have to be general, I still have a few months to go before I pass into oblivion, which I'm looking forward to. let me tell you. I feel, as the Chinese say, life starts actually at 60. So they say that you grow younger at 60. I have my aunt who are 105 or 107. So when I mentioned them, I am 60, he said, oh, kid, I saw you in 5 years. You know, you were a 5-year kid. So enjoy yourself. 60 years is the time to get young. Well, so I don't want to be quoted. I just want that I want to be a part of this scholarly debate because I'm not I had a question in my book launching ceremony, you know, are you interested in something? No, I'm not. You know, that's what it is. It is never, it's not just what you call an interest that you all, I have an interest in this subject just because of the scholarly nature of the subject. I think there has to be human beings with the courage to think, with the courage and the necessary capacity to understand what is happening. The present generation cannot disappoint. History has not ended. It's an arrogance, a piece of arrogance that human beings say that we have found the best solutions. No, the solutions will continue to be found for every generation will find its own solutions. And see, so we need to move on. We need to think in the, why should we be controlled by one paradigm that was developed at the end of the Second World War? That paradigm should, every age, every generation faces its own realities. So those who think that the problems can be done away through reforms of the in the existing mechanisms and institutions, I think it's not possible. It's going to come back again, because the problems are that there are essentially issues of serious issues of what you call as defective mindset that is there. So these are my own views. Of course, I think Berlin, if it can achieve this purpose of getting the world to a new paradigm through Schiller Institute, I think it will be achieving much more than many other cities have done. Some of those big cities I have gone there. A lot of research takes place, a lot of debate takes place, hard talks and all. All these are deceptive. There is no hard talk. It's all decided what they will be talking. Where is the integrity? The global intellectual stagnation. All the paradigms are set. The world cannot continue with this sort of a paradigm. There is no doubt about it. And those who do not agree with this thesis also know what they are doing. So I hope Berlin's contribution to human civilization will be bigger. And when I wanted to come to Germany at the age of 17, I learned German language. Deutsche Sprache war meine erste Liebe. It was my first love. And why I wanted to come was essentially this evening that I'm having here. I have been here nearly 1 year. It took me only 11 months to come to this place. But this is the reason that I wanted to come here at the age of 17, 18, 1974, when I learned German language. Because Germans have a disproportionate share of thinkers. So I'm happy to realize what was my dream, to come and open my mind to our friends from Germany. So we have our dreamer of Pakistan, Muhammad Iqbal. He translated Goethe's poetry And as you know, he actually got a doctor of philosophy in 1907 from Munich University, and he had stayed in Heidelberg, and he had a profound influence not only on Pakistan but entire region from Indonesia to at least Egypt. You have this Muhammad Iqbal, and when you read him, he debates with all the German philosophers in his poem, and he talks about, in one of his sentences, which he learned in 3 months of his German language teacher, Emma Wegenast, and that he says he wrote a letter to his teacher in 1907, and he says, "Meiner Koppen ist hier, aber meiner Gedanke ist in Deutschland." And another sentence that I remember, he wrote, "Ich habe Deutschland sehr gerne." So Germany is in a unique position today to be able to guide the humanity which has been tormented for the last so many years. Economic inequalities, environmental disasters, geopolitical issues, interfaith issues. The dialogue is ending. There are disconnects between communities. There are disconnects between disconnects and disconnects. You only find disconnects. You only find gaps. And there is a recognition gap is the biggest gap. So, of course, with these initial words, I would like to actually conclude, But I am confident that Berlin and particularly Germany will play a much more bigger role on this issue because the world, unlike Second World War and before, it cannot provide to be provide to continue with a lot of these issues. So I think there is a need for serious thinkers, serious researchers, serious scholars, serious pioneers who can try to make this paradigm as the mainstream paradigm. At the moment, this is not the mainstream paradigm what you are doing. So in my view, the global equilibrium is disturbed. So first of all, what we will need is to establish trust. There is no trust anywhere, let me tell you. All of us profess to be trusting each other, but we don't trust any one of them. The global society is the biggest gap, or you can say, is the trust gap. I don't know what Schiller Institute can do on that. But certainly, when you are trying to reconstruct human society, a very noble objective, you can also keep one element of that is building trust, a major element. The greatest failure of the global system is the loss of credibility and trust. International, global, and financial institutions have completely lost credibility. Theoretically, of course, what the Schiller Institute mentions, I feel that the world, it is possible to to avoid repetition of Cold War. Human beings cannot disappoint. The current situation as in the world is not very healthy. It can go any way. It can. You have already read the institutions have no answers to the current issues. A lot of my friends were telling wherever I go, in the United States, I went there twice, to China and to many other countries I go. They say, "Are you looking for a job?" I say, "No, I'm not looking for a job. I just want to say that the institutions do not have answers to these issues. The way these institutions are structured, the way these institutions have their bylaws, their constitution, the way these institutions have leadership, you cannot hope any better than what it is. In fact, it might, in fact, so I think, well, it's a good initiative. I am coming here first time, of course, but I am amazed. This is a completely new way of thinking as what Europe and Asia can do together, and maybe Africa together, and we all can, and even Latinos can join. And even, as it was mentioned, no paradigm should be exclusive. It has to be a global paradigm. But in the meanwhile, where we can start with what is doable. For instance, the areas that have been mentioned. Of course, when I talk all this, I'm talking my own scholarly, views. Certainly, a lot of these, the thinking that environment, water, energy, these are critical areas where Germany can play a very important role. And I think we can secure the future of mankind and womankind by cooperating with each other. We have to develop a paradigm which unlike what we have today, is a paradigm that can promote love, that can promote understanding, that can promote goodwill. All human beings belong to one family. Why should we have to be what we have been, what the problems that are there now? I think it's need to think differently. I certainly wanted to speak a lot, but I will limit myself to that, to the Q&A. And I thought that I will open the debate rather than talking myself all the things. Thank you.